Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 2020 Drive for Ferrari, episode number 76 today for the Singapore Grand Prix Season 5, round number 12? No, 13, excuse me. This says, I think it's round 13. But yes, of course, if you haven't missed any of the previous videos, go and check them out. This series, two videos a week of this series will be coming to the channel up to F1 2021 now, as we fit a sixth and final season in of 10 races as well. But make sure you get subscribed to see that as well, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell to never miss a video. But anyway, moving to Singapore then, it's a track that I've had some success at, just not in this series. I mean, I've done okay in some online races and also in some other series, F1 eMod, where we won there. I think we did well as well in Final Fantasy. We did well in Season 4 to be fair, where we finished 5th in the Alpine car, but obviously this is Season 5. We'll be looking for victory. Whether or not we can get victory, I'm not entirely sure. Ultimately depends on what the other teams are going to show up, because there is a big margin, as you can see on your screen now, between ourselves on paper and the next fastest car, which is actually just Mercedes, because Red Bull have really caught up to Mercedes now. Mercedes, I mean, they looked fast in the first part of the season, and there were times, Silverstone, Hungary, when they were, and possibly Italy as well, where they were just sublimely fast and we could not have any answer. But here at Singapore, we'll have to wait and see. But obviously we've got Red Bull into play as well. Will Verstappen be able to come back into play and join with Albon? Obviously the championship is very close, 4 points separating myself and Albon, 5 points between myself and Carlos Sainz. Moving to qualifying then, obviously this is a street circuit. Overtaking is limited, although it's not Monaco style, so we're not going to be that trouble. And we're currently P3. Verstappen is the fastest man so far from Sebastian Vettel. Bottas as well, Gasly as well, very high up. No sign of Albon or Sainz, so it's going well so far. And in the middle, first sector, we're 2/10 up actually on our previous best time, as we move into the middle sector with 3.5 up, and we've gone purple in the middle sector, but somehow still slower than Sebastian Vettel. I don't know how, but we're going slower than Vettel. Verstappen now has put in a new fastest lap, so that will be the challenge. Albon, there he is, up in P3. So he'll be there to challenge us as well. Mercedes look like they're having their usual Singapore success around here. And coming out the final corner, it's going to be an improvement of almost 4/10. It is 4/10, and it's enough for P2, which is not bad. I'll take P2. I mean, we've been qualifying very well over the last couple of Grand Prix, out qualifying our teammate. Only very close to Verstappen. I did not think I'd be that close to Verstappen. Albon P4, so these challenges. Sainz P7, dreadful time for the Spaniard. This is his time. Latifi up there in P11, but we'll see what we can do from the front row of the grid. Left hand side, dirty side, maybe not the optimum. We'll have to see what we can do. It's time for the Singapore Grand Prix.
Alright, I think we can call that a successful qualifying. We should be in with a good chance in the race.
Against the spectacular backdrop of the Singapore skyline, Formula One returns once again to do battle in what tends to become something of an endurance race, with the notorious sauna-like temperatures in the cockpit making for an extremely physically challenging Grand Prix. It's a 3.1 mile lap here at the Marina Bay Street Circuit, with 47% taken at full throttle. It's hot, humid and bumpy around the 13 lefts and the 10 rights of mostly slow corners, but we should see speeds of up to 200 miles per hour along the Raffles Boulevard. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. They must be starting to feel the pressure at this point, and surely There's a real shot at the title on the cards here, but one error at the wrong time, well, that could throw it all away.
Of course, there's never a good time to make mistakes, but it will feel 10 times worse if it happens at such a critical point of the season. Let's hope this contest is settled where it should be, on track, wheel to wheel.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position and a Ferrari alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Bottas, Carlos Sainz and Magnussen, Norris, Leclerc, Latifi and Luca Giotto. Albon, they've taken a grid penalty. Ocon, Daniel Kvyat and Gasly, Joe, Giovinazzi, Nobuharu Matsushita and Nick de Vries. Russell and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Just other default message there. You can see there's some rain somehow being forecasted for the end of the race. I don't think we're going to see it personally, so we're just going to carry on with the drives. There's no point gambling for that, especially when we're P2. We'll have to wait and see what rain, if the rain does come or not. But Viper lights then for the Singapore Grand Prix, and away we go. And it's a mediocre start actually. Verstappen comes across and Vettel is going to go around the outside. We're touching with Vettel, but we squeeze Vettel out into turn 2, up to turn 3, and we're already through and up into P2. As this is Carlos Sainz. Latifi is being promoted up the order, I think, due to some engine penalties. So he's actually started inside the top 10, as does the 2 Renaults, and he's challenging Sainz. But Sainz holds on for those lowly positioned. Had a dreadful stop behind one of the McLarens now as Verstappen pits. Vettel is trying to have around the outside of us. We're going to defend him off and retain the lead, which is now jumping to lap 6. Not a lot happening in these opening laps. It's a bit of a stalemate, a bit like Monaco, where nothing really happens. As we can see here, Sainz is still stuck behind his old teammate Lando Norris. Although Norris, unfortunately for him, is out of the race with an engine failure, so as he slows down there, and that's going to bring out, as usual in this series, he's going to bring out a safety car, and that's actually going to be nice timing because Verstappen and Vettel have come in the lap before. We're going to come in now, so it's 27 seconds, and Verstappen's going to be on that delta. So can we get out in front of Verstappen? Bear in mind, has controlled this race in the opening laps. Yes, we've led a few laps because obviously we've overcut him. Latifi is in as well. We'll see what happens to him, as is Ocon. I'm not entirely sure if Ocon's AI will react and go on to hards, but Latifi and myself should definitely go on to mediums, as we have a little bit of a let's just say not ideal exit, but it doesn't matter anyway, because the more crucial thing is we are out ahead of Max Verstappen and have retained the race lead. So this is all changed. We had no chance of catching Verstappen beforehand, but the safety car has given us a chance of victory here at Singapore. And Nicholas Latifi has also gained because he's up to P6. He's up ahead of Sainz as well. So the safety car's going to come in on lap number 9, and well, Verstappen, I'm sure he's going to be all over the back of us. You saw how close Vettel was before his pit stop as well. So I have the lead from Verstappen and Vettel. Can Bottas get in the mix as well for Mercedes and help his teammate out, and also himself out potentially in the Drivers' Championship? But none of that happened because I've driven some of the better laps that I have done on this entire game. Fastest lap, 37.7 there of the Grand Prix. That's one of the better laps I've set there. And lap 11 now, we're going to set another new fastest lap of the Grand Prix at 37.5. The consistency on these mediums, it's great to see. We're actually flying at the moment. Bottas is being dropped by 4 seconds in only a couple of laps as well. So we're running away. Verstappen and Vettel, as we go wide there, that's going to give us a red sector, unfortunately. But nevertheless, we're dropping Verstappen like a hot potato. and victory is looking comfortable, and it's going to be a massive lead in the championship. Lap 13 driving even better. Green first sector, green middle sector as we come through the final corners here, and out of the final corners up to the line. A little bit of a track extend, but it's another fastest lap of 37.2, and the tyres went off after that. But you can see here 2.5 seconds clear of Verstappen and Vettel, and look, for Bottas is 7 seconds. So those for me, yes, those are some of the best laps that I've driven on this game around Singapore. As we take a look at some of the other battles on track, with me running away from Verstappen and Vettel, this is the battle for P6 still. Nicholas Latifi is doing a great job in the Williams. It could be his, I don't think he's actually got points in this entire series. So, and Albon, he had a penalty, remember, so obviously he would dropped out from P4, but he's behind Giotto and the two Renaults. Ocon is at the front of this queue, I can tell you, and he's on the hards. Sainz is going for Latifi on the final lap here. Can Sainz get ahead of Latifi? No, Latifi close it off and will retain P6, but will Sainz will have DRS on the Canadian driver in the Williams? Can Sainz get past Latifi? Latifi's going to defend the inside, and he's going to block the outside to stop Sainz getting past, and Sainz is frustrated and can only come home for P7 as we come across the line for what would have been is very much an unexpected victory at Singapore. Fantastic. And also a big lead in the Drivers' World Championship.
It's never easy to make it across the finish line here in Singapore, but they've done so with some style here today to take a remarkable victory. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again.
Oh, that champagne is definitely good, especially on a hot day like this. But yes, another victory to add to the collection, so it's definitely nice to be back on the top step of the podium after the disaster that we faced at Italy where we should have really have won that race. But to be fair, those second half of the race, those laps were sublimely quick. Sainz in the end, disappointing. Had a poor start, suffered behind Norris, and then in the end suffered behind Latifi. Albon did in fact get past Giotto, so he gets 1 point, which could be crucial if the championship comes to a blow for me. Remember, Japan is the next track that will be coming out on Friday, that episode. Lando Norris, disappointing for him. He would have probably been there or thereabouts with Sainz. So, but nevertheless, Sainz does move ahead of Albon, but the gap is now 25 points. So, going from 4 and 5 points, we're now 25 points clear of our next rivals. Albon as well drops to third. Verstappen is moving in. Can he mount a late title charge? He's 10 points behind his teammate Albon. Bottas as well. He needs to pick it up as well. Vettel can't. Is mathematically out, so he needs to support us, and we need to have another third place really and get the constructors doing on, because we're only 33 points behind now with this late charge. Can we mount a late charge for the constructors title? We'll have to wait and see.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. Things are looking up after last week, aren't they?
They certainly are. The safety car definitely helped us out making that pit stop, and giving us a huge chance of getting victory here.
Your teammate had a great race today and was rewarded with a podium. Do you have any comments on the performance?
Well, we won the Grand Prix, Claire. If you didn't see, we were on the top step too. No, you didn't see that, did you? never mind. Yes, it was a good race. It was a good race for the team actually, because Thurston's third. It will help us out in the constructors, which I would like to have a push for the constructors championship in the Ferrari as well. But that's where we pretty much are. I mean, R&D, we've got one ERS upgrade that should be coming in soon. I think if I remember rightly, the other even though it's the last upgrade of power performance wise, I think that gets put on the car. I think I order that for the car in the next episode, Japan. Yes, and then obviously we've got Mexico and Brazil next week, and then that will be it for this season, and then we'll have the final season of 10 races to come. But yes, if you have enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and you see plenty more episodes of the F1 2020 Driver Career Mode as and when they come out. But until the next video, us next time, take care, thanks so much for watching, enjoy your day, and goodbye.